Comment vous nous avez créés? Il faut bâtir sans plus attendre la résidence demandée. Comme l'ont dit les grands prophètes, on pourra voir si on vous aime venir au-dessus de terre.
Humanity has always asked the same timeless questions. Why are we here? Who created us? Are we alone in the universe? And what happens when we die? Today we explore these questions from a perspective that challenges conventional religion, science, and our understanding of human origins. My guest is a religious scholar from the Raelian movement, a worldview that proposes humanity was created by an advanced extraterrestrial intelligence known as the Elohim. We are not here for mockery, for blind belief, or easy answers. We are here because of curiosity, philosophy, and the courage to explore ideas beyond our comfort zone. If you value open-minded discussions, deep questions about our place in the universe, about reality, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this episode with your friends and your family. And share with the Grays, I really don't care. I'm not discriminating. And if you're listening on one of the great audio platforms, please rate and review the show. It really, really helps. It's all free. You have your hand or your phone in your hand anyway. It's 20 seconds. It helps TDP reach as many awesome people as possible. And with that being said, I'm joined by Rob. How you doing?
Good.
Yeah?
Thank you for having me.
I've had the rabbi, is Leon.
Yeah, Leon Merul.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I had a fantastic conversation with him. And through line for me has always been that if humanity was created by intelligence that's beyond Earth, what does that reveal about our meaning, our consciousness, our destiny, our future? What does that say about our place in the world, right? Because if God didn't create us, but almost like a advanced scientist race of beings tinkered with us, is that why the secrecy is? Because they don't want us to know who our creator is? Is that too much for people? So I have all these questions that, just for listeners who are encountering this worldview for the first time, how would you describe the Raelian movement, the perspective, in a thoughtful, grounded way? A couple sentences.
Yeah, so the Raelian movement is a religion. Our priority is to welcome back the element. They still watch us and observe us after they created us a long time ago, but they're kind of waiting to see us develop, right? Like watching a child figure out how the world works.
Right.
Yeah.
Really quick.
Yeah.
What are the Elohim?
They're people, right? They created us in their image. The best way I could describe them is people. They are from another planet. So you could say extraterrestrial, but you say extraterrestrial and people think all kinds of different things. And I think it's really important to kind of ground their nature and how they relate to us, that they're people like us. And they went through their civilization went through all the same troubles that we're going through now. And hopefully we can overcome our problems like how they overcame theirs.
Okay. And Elohim, if I'm not mistaken, Elohim is messenger, or
those who came from the sky.
Those who came from the sky.
The Hebrew.
It's Hebrew
word, yes.
from the Torah, and kind of where the Jewish people went wrong is they translate Elohim as God, right?
Right.
But what the Raelian movement is saying is no, is not you didn't translate it exactly correctly. It is, it's a messenger from above, right? we may look at that through a different lens as God, but they're just like you and us. They're just from a different planet.
Yeah.
So is that kind of
Yeah.
put it together for people
Yeah.
who don't know?
Yeah. Yeah. Because like I said, extraterrestrial can, people can be kind of scared of that maybe, or alien invaders,
They
or
start
whatever.
thinking of this guy or that guy.
Right. Yeah. But when they come back and they come out and they reveal themselves and they look like a human being, that might kind of surprise some people maybe.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll get to it. There's tons of cases where there was beings that came out of the craft looking just like human beings, and they were a little shorter, a little taller, but that was all there. Like it was the 5-point head, 2 arms, 2 legs. So I find that to be interesting.
Yeah, you probably are more familiar than I am, but like no one ever anyone that's claimed to have been abducted or had a visitation, they're never like, oh, this dude had like 11 legs and tentacle arms, and like you never hear that story, right?
No.
So
the craziest parts are like, oh, the mantis beings, right? Oh, they looked like insects or whatever. And it's like, well, you could also be like, there could be some sort of technology where they screen, like they screen you from seeing what they actually are, right? So, I mean, and then people with false memory, people input things to kind of like shield themselves from trauma. So who knows what those memories, what they were actually, but most of abduction stories are just, they took me kind of like we take cows, tag them, put them back, right? So I don't know what's going on there, but I mean, it's something I find to be interesting, right?
Yeah.
If the Elohim and these extraterrestrials or these UFOs that we are talking about, if they are the same, why are they taking us?
Rael has said that there are no alien abductions. So
it's fake.
Right. So, I mean, I know you probably, like I said, you probably have a lot more knowledge and experience in researching this stuff, and surely some of your listeners do too. But yeah, he explains that anyone coming from space is friendly, because to have the technology to escape your solar system, it also gives you the technology to destroy yourselves.
Right.
And if you're a violent or an aggressive civilization, you're going to do that first before you make it to another planet. So there's no abductions.
Well, it could be my lab. Have you ever heard of my lab?
No.
My lab is like a military abduction. So it's military posing as alien. Like that's the cover.
Sure.
And I think that's probably like, what is abduction? Sounds like a more human thing, doesn't it? It doesn't sound like an advanced species thing.
Right.
It sounds like a primitive human kind of deal.
Right. Because like maybe a long time ago we kind of did this, and certainly we still have zoos, right? But when we observe animals and you want to watch them in the wild and you care about the animals, you don't disturb them. You set up like a camera.
Yes.
You leave it, right? And you just like record. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, abduction doesn't seem like, even if you were an advanced civilization trying to like study another civilization, I don't know that you would like traumatize people by doing that. Surely you've like overcome that, right?
Right. And it does make sense. It does. With that being said, do you see this belief system, the Raelian movement? Do you see it as a religion, a philosophy, science, a synthesis of all three? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say it's all three. I mean, I think every religion has like a philosophical aspect to it. But I would say it's a religion, right? We're here to unite together and welcome back our creators and understand our origins, and to develop a more peaceful society. So I think in that sense, it's very much a religion, yeah.
So what do you think the difference between, like, say, Christianity and Raelianism is? Like, aside from the obvious, like, differing perspectives, because people will say, like, this isn't a religion. This is.
Right.
Like, what defines a religion?
Hmm.
Because or a cult versus a religion, right?
Right.
People label things a cult versus a religion.
Mm.
Really, in my experience, the only difference is the leader's dead,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, the
Yeah.
person who started it dies, becomes a religion.
Right. Yeah. I think the difference is like Christianity is a cult and we're not.
Isn't it funny
Yeah.
how kind of the dichotomy of it is,
Right.
where people see Christianity as like it's the religion,
Yeah.
when in fact it's not. Most places outside of the United States are not like mainly Christian. I mean,
Mm.
this is kind of a newer religion.
Mm.
It's in fact, I'd say out of the big three, I'd say it's the most recently formed.
Well, Islam, I mean, technically was founded afterwards.
Oh, is it?
Right.
Is it after?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, again, for me, it's like this is why I find it easy to not. I don't need to like pick one.
Mm.
I'm like, okay, wait, what if all of them have a piece of the puzzle?
Mm.
Why can't? And again, we were talking off air. It's the Tower of Babel.
Mm.
Why are we're talking different languages,
Mm.
right? We're living in places with fake imaginary borders you can only see from a map that you draw, not from space,
Right.
for sure.
Mhm.
The borders aren't there. We look a little different. Like a united humanity, I don't think there's anything we couldn't do.
Yeah.
But divided will fall.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree.
Is that what is the core message of Raelianism?
To love one another. That's all everything is to, overcome our aggressiveness and to not ignore our differences, but to embrace them and love people even though they may be different.
Mm.
Yeah.
And how has this affected you? Like, how were you pre Raelianism?
I mean,
what changed for you?
It's like it's kind of like a hard answer for me because I first discovered it when I was like 15.
Oh.
So I've been Raelian a long time, yeah.
Oh. I thought you had maybe I was thinking about this wrong. Maybe I thought you had converted it later. But maybe I'm misspoken.
No, I mean,
interesting.
Yeah.
So you found Raelianism at a pretty young age. How did you do that?
Well, kind of like you said, all these religions have these different pieces of the puzzle.
Right.
So at that time, I felt like either all of these religions were wrong, right? Which, right, many atheists probably certainly think and conclude, right? Or they're all right. It didn't make sense to me that like, okay, this one religion has the answer and like everybody else in the world is wrong.
Going to hell.
Right. Like that's just, I don't know, man. That just didn't
sit right.
Yeah. So, it's a long story, but I found the Raelian message and that kind of like wrapped it all together for me and kind of like explained how all these different religions are connected. Because we say that the Elohim sent and taught all these prophets. So like Jesus and the Buddha and Muhammad, all of these were prophets of the Elohim. So all these religions have a trace root back to them. So
kind of Raelianism is kind of like saying like, hey guys, you're all on the right path, but you're seeing it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Right. You've kind of like it's a limited hangout you've created. And when in fact, all these prophets, Muhammad, Jesus, you've created all these religions for, they were all from the same thing. And that's this bigger picture that with the Elohim. So Jesus and Muhammad, they were both from messengers of the Elohim is what you're saying. Okay.
Of course, now there's fundamental differences, right? Because they've, people a long time ago misunderstood and mistranslated and blah, blah, blah. And so now they all believe in a supernatural God or souls and blah, blah, blah. But this is just primitive people not understanding what they're being taught or shown, right? I think one of the episodes of your show that I watched, you talked about cargo cults, right? And I mean, that's the history of the world's religion is just a giant
cargo cult.
Yeah.
I mean, look across continents. We build these pyramids and they're all the same architecture. You see that similar architecture all around the world. And we're taught that none of them ever talk to each other, right? That before a certain time, this culture didn't interact. There's no possible way that these people had any connection. Yet they're drawing birdmen with purses on every continent. They're building pyramids on every continent. So if you're telling me that none of them spoke, then what I see is they were all seeing the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Fair enough.
Certainly, like different cultures have different myths that vary, but for being so separated, there's a lot of similarities and a lot of commonalities. And so that was just some of the things that I thought of, like what is the thread that links all of these together?
And that's where that's why I people like say that, oh, Ty, you just talk about UFOs. You talk about this, like, extra. I'm like, no, that's not the core question. My core question is, why do you think that human beings across cultures felt compelled to ask questions about the meaning, about our perspective, our God and origins, right? So for you, from your worldview, what is the deeper purpose of human life? It can't just be to wait for these people to return.
No, of course not. It's to enjoy life, though. They created us out of love to enjoy being alive and to just enjoy pleasure.
So
it's not to serve them or to earn a place in heaven or something like this. It's just about enjoying life.
I mean, you said heaven. So do you not think that there's a heaven or a hell or any of this?
No.
Right.
No.
Because so what is the soul? If there is no soul, what is consciousness? Like, what is that spark inside of us? Because I look at you, right? I look and I know that you're there. That there's that human spark in you. For instance, like when I was in the room when my mom passed, I watched it go. That spark, I watched it go away. So there's something tangible to it. So what is that?
Right. Well, I mean, you kind of just said it, right? It's something tangible. So Rael has explained that, like, there's a what do I want to say, like a collection or like a group of neurons in your brain, which is your consciousness. So it's literally something physical and tangible.
So you're saying the brain creates consciousness?
Yeah. I mean,
a lot of others
he's
will
never
say
like
backwards.
He's never like given like the details on it, and I kind of my own ideas are like, I wonder if like all the cells in your body are conscious or something, and then this is just kind of whatever's in your brain is just sort of like the center of the web, the spider web, so to speak.
I kind of like that.
So but that's just, I do a lot of other reading and stuff, and listen to things too, of course, and so that's just kind of my own speculation, but there's no soul.
So so in Raelianism, there's no soul.
Yeah, there's no like astral body or like ethereal thing that like possesses this. Right. It's not something that then like goes off somewhere else
and becomes, like whatever. You're in this form, but like astrally, and then you keep going. Like that always seemed a little off to me, I will admit. Like that, like ghosts, for instance, right? I think ghosts they're not like, it's not about unfinished business. It's like an echo. It's an echo of the atoms and stuff that made you up, that they're tethered to a place. It's like it's an echo and it's like kind of like replays. That's why like ghosts can't hurt you if they're even a thing. Right. I think they're more so like us seeing the past almost. It's like, but we can get into that a little bit later. I heard this story and I want to ask you about it. There was this group of Raelians that went to France.
Okay.
And they meet up with Rael himself. And they're outside this either airport or conference center. And it's like 50 people.
Okay.
And one person says, look up, look up. And they look up, and there's these two balls of light. And all of a sudden, this cottony substance starts to fall.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me about this? Do you know this?
I know, yeah. And
You weren't there.
no, I wasn't there.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know when this was, like, the 70s or the 80s or something.
But that's 50 witnesses.
Yeah, and I spoke with well, all right. So on the Netflix documentary about us, they interviewed I forget his name, like Jean-Paul Saulnier or something, and I met him, and he was one of the Raelians that was there and saw this stuff. He only spoke French, so like, he was like sitting in front of me, and someone else was like translating for me, and I was kind of only half paying attention, but whatever. And so anyway, he saw this, and yeah, it was like the snowy cotton stuff. It's talked about in the Raelian book, the messages, we call it, where it's explained to be like the same kind of thing that's in the Bible, like the manna.
I
Manna,
literally,
right?
that's where I was going.
Yeah. So anyway, so Jean-Paul explained that he and some others like tried to take it and like put it in a test tube, but like as soon as they touched it, it would fall apart. Almost like I picture like cotton candy, you know how it like kind of
melts in your mouth.
Yeah. So it's like just something about even your hand is like too warm for it and just falls apart. So they tried to like scoop it into a test tube without touching it. And I think it stayed there for like a little while, but after a few hours or a day or something, it was gone. And
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's because I was going to say the story sounds familiar.
Yeah.
And I go, why does it sound so familiar to me? And I'm going, oh shit. And it clicked and I went, oh my God. Like, funny how we say that. Oh my God. But I was like, holy crap. That's so do you think this was some sort of like, hey, you guys are on the right track?
Yeah.
Visitation. Why wouldn't they come down?
Why wouldn't they come
down? I mean, that's a question everyone's going to ask, right?
Sure, yeah. So, I mean, the whole point of the Raelian movement is to welcome the Elohim, but we want to do it like officially. So this whole thing about building an embassy for him, as Leon alluded to, as like the third temple of Jerusalem. So the Elohim ask us to build this embassy because they want to come down for the whole world. They don't want to just like land in front of the White House.
Right.
Because then it's like, oh, like, do they only care about Americans but not like Chinese people or whatever? So, but then are they going to like land 184 or however many countries are they going to do this? And, they want like legally recognized politically neutral territory where they have an embassy that's recognized as an embassy where they can come down. And
how much work has gone into making this reality?
Lots of work.
This embassy.
Yeah, I mean, so we have the blueprints for it. That's all set.
I've seen the video, like of what it
cool.
would look like. It's like a rendering.
Yeah, there's like a 3D, like you walk through it or whatever.
Looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like so just flying saucers coming in. Like
yeah.
That'd be a cool world.
Yes,
right?
Yes. So last year we announced that a country had like signed paperwork to work with us in determining a site to build this.
Really?
So, if I knew, I couldn't say. Although
understood,
the paperwork that they signed said that they would announce, they would effectively announce it this year.
And this plot of land that they're giving would then not, it would be like a city-state almost. It's not, it doesn't ceases to become that country. It's neutral ground because that's what an embassy would be.
Yeah, in the sense that like any embassy is in another country. Yeah.
Okay.
You wouldn't say like Chinese embassy is a city-state. Right.
Right. Okay, yeah. Maybe wrong wordage there. Do you believe that humanity is evolving primarily in technology, consciousness, and morality, or all of the above? Do you think one thing's driving it more than the other?
maybe just technologically.
Right.
You know, maybe we've gotten better over the centuries. You know, a little less barbaric in some places, more than others, maybe. This is kind of like a big point that we talk about, because the reason that the Elohim decided to send another prophet, Rael, and is because we've reached this age where we have the technological capacity to destroy ourselves.
Yes, we do.
Right. So humanity faces a decision of doing that or using its scientific knowledge to help people and create effectively a paradise.
Mm,
So we have the technology,
we do.
right? Certainly we've evolved the technology part. The ethical or moral part, you know, I think the verdict is out,
Right.
you know.
And that's the crazy part to me, is we have the ability to solve most problems.
Yeah,
It's just we don't want to.
but like, don't hold back. I mean, what if we have the capacity to solve all problems? Like, how does that change how you look at the world?
Well, it changes
You know?
drastically, because I remember there was winters, I didn't come from a silver spoon family. I mean, my dad shouldn't have said that. Can you mark the time? I gotta take that part out.
It doesn't have a time.
What do you mean it doesn't have a time?
There's no time frame thing.
My family would gamble away money and spend the money on drugs, and we wouldn't have hot water, right? We wouldn't have much food. And this is the winter we're talking about. Winter in Massachusetts, like it's happening right now. Like if I find out we've had 0 point energy, or we've been able to pull from the ether, the vacuum, and that this whole infrastructure is not needed, that would piss me off, right?
Yeah.
Because that means somewhere there's someone who has made the decision actively to suppress this sort of technology. And I think it's true. I think the US government, while not be it, the US government is a vague thing. It's a big, large thing. There is a section of it, quote unquote, deep state, the cabal, call it whatever you want. I call them dickheads, right? They've decided. And you know what? I'm even to the point where I am fairly confident the people that are running the Epsteins, the Diddy's, the Harvey Weinsteins, that's the deep state.
Yeah.
If you're blackmailing the most powerful, can you geopolitically, would you say that the United States president is one of the most powerful people in the world?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that
if you're
undeniable,
blackmailing
right?
that person, who are you working for?
Right.
I think we might be dealing with the same thing. The people that are infusing themselves with children's blood, like openly talking about it, like, and abusing minors. I think those are the same people that are hiding all this shit from us because they see themselves above us.
Yeah.
Right. It's almost like a breakaway civilization they've created.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But there's like a meme of someone saying like, the Earth is the hotel and we're just the staff, something. Right. So
it's pretty spot on.
Yeah.
So my big thing is, why are they observing us? If they are observing us constantly, why would they let this happen?
Yeah.
And is it like, I get the answer, they can't interfere.
Yeah.
Right? Because that would change the course of this, or this is the free will, yada yada. I don't know if that's a good enough answer.
I know, yeah, and I've talked to people about this before, and it's often not a good enough answer. And I don't know that I have something that would be so consoling, But it's kind of like the question, like, what if we had all the technology to do it, right? Well, we have the capacity to hold these people accountable and to serve justice and to know better than to do this, to do those acts, right? So yes, they could come and interfere, and maybe that would help, but it's not their role to come down and be police officers either, right? Like
Good
we're
point.
we're adults here.
That's a very good point.
We can sort this out ourselves, not because they want us to figure it out on our own, but because we're responsible for our own actions, and it's not their responsibility to come down and do that.
Right. You know what? That's a good, fair point. That's a fair point.
Mm.
You know, it's like sometimes maybe you have to let the kid fall so he can run.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But then, to play devil's advocate against myself would be like, if you see two kids like punching each other and, yeah,
You might want to separate them.
right.
So like,
But here's the thing too, is like, maybe the Elohim see us and they see that we don't want their help. They've sent how many prophets? They've said there's a prophet here now, right?
this
And
is Rael.
right. And we don't
I want to talk to him so bad.
and we don't listen to their advice. We don't listen to them. For how many Raelians are there compared to 8 billion people in the world? They
Such
see a
small
planet of
fraction.
people that aren't interested,
Aren't
their help,
ready.
you know?
Maybe not even ready.
Right.
Might not be.
Right. And so when they
that's-
come back, like, there's still going to be people that aren't ready. Even if they came back to the embassy and said, hey, we want to help. You're going to have religious people that think they're the devil. You're going to have a bunch of skeptics that think they're alien invaders just masquerading the
As the good guy.
pleasantries. Yeah.
And then you're also gonna have the people that say it's not even really happening.
Right. So like there's just it's like there's no winning for them,
I could see that. Do you think that if we started trading nukes, that might be like, and I know that I've walked nuclear controllers into members of Congress, right, office to brief them about UFO sightings over nuclear bases where they interfered with the weapons.
Yeah.
Like they didn't interfere with them, like take them away. They flicked them on, made us pee ourselves, and then turned them back off.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they set one off or disarmed and disabled it,
Mm-hmm.
and it was never able to be brought back online.
Mm.
It's like a message. When I asked Bob Salas, Dave Schindele, when I asked what was the message, get rid of these fucking things.
Yeah.
Get rid of these fucking
Yeah.
things. That's what he said.
Yeah. And they all him say in the messages
Rest in peace, Maryland.
that nuclear weapons are an extreme danger for humanity.
So it's the thing that could and will
Yeah.
destroy us.
Yeah.
Our all the progress we've made,
Mm.
everything we've done, every bit of history exists on this blue rock.
Mm-hmm.
All of it gone.
Yeah.
With because the next one that goes off is the last one that goes off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sadly, that's my perspective.
Yeah, because we didn't like stop it with the bomb at Hiroshima, right?
No.
We
We
made
go,
them-
hey, we got another one, right?
right. We made them bigger and better and
Yeah.
faster, and
And now they're
less detectable.
supersonic,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And you can't defend that.
Yeah.
That's checkmate
Yeah.
all day.
Right.
And Russia is getting dangerously close to saying,
Yeah.
if I can't have it, nobody can.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's scary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what Rael recommends is actually that all countries have nuclear weapons.
Disarmament?
No, the opposite. It seems counterintuitive. Yeah.
Well, everyone can have a gun.
Well, the way I see it is, if you're a country with a nuke, then you don't get invaded by the United States.
It's fair.
Right. It's easy to stop the bully if you know how
Everyone's
to
on
fight
a
back.
level playing field.
Yeah. It sounds dangerous, right? If everyone has a nuke, well then, but then everyone becomes afraid.
But then everyone has a nuke.
Right.
Yeah.
This isn't the answer of.
I hadn't thought about it that way.
Yeah. This wouldn't be like, oh wow, humanity is wise enough to overcome its violence. No, it's they were fucking stupid enough to. They all got nukes. now they're all too afraid of each other. So they're like, okay, well, now that everyone has a nuke, maybe we can all disarm.
Right.
Because you don't want to be like one of the 6 countries with the nukes and the whole world's asking you to disarm, right? It's like...
And let's be fair. If an invader ever came from the sky, invader, not the Elohim, if anything ever came from the sky, that would probably be our defense, right? That's our ultimate power. That's our weapon.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and that's where I get a little nervous with the messages from, like, what do you think when I asked the nuclear controllers, what do you think the message was? What was the UFO by shutting 10 nukes off that are analog, mind you, separated by miles? To shut one of these things off in the year 1967, you would have needed a small army. And they 10 at once. It didn't happen, right? Like, it doesn't happen. It did.
Right.
It did.
Yeah.
And it's happening all the time. And in Russia, a modern day Ukraine, former Soviet Union, they didn't turn them off. They turned them on. And I think that was the same message, but it was for a more aggressive people, right? So for the United States, who in the Cold War wasn't the aggressor, so to say, but Russia was the big scary one. For us, they turned them off, and they showed that, hey, just because these are your most powerful weapons doesn't mean they're ours. We could take control of these at any time. But in Russia, they showed, hey, this is what it looks like when you almost start World War III. And they get a little fear inside them. So I think like, could that be someone trying to trick us into disarming? Because that is our only weapon against them.
I think it's just them, like, kind of pinpointing and highlighting, like,
you see what I'm
this
saying,
is a
though?
problem. Yeah, I do.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, we're going to pretend to be this angelic force that's here for good.
Oh. So you think, like, maybe...
I don't think, I'm speculating.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. I wasn't saying, like, you know.
I just have to, because
Yeah.
60,000, I got to make sure that I allegedly.
Yeah, right. So you're wondering that if it's possible that
even the
a
Elohim
civilization would disarm us so that they could invade us?
So that we wouldn't have no weapon that we could use against them.
Right.
Everything else is inferior, right?
Right.
Splitting atom, that nuclear technology is actually the only thing that's keeping. What if that's the only thing that's keeping these things from just being sightings and not? Because a lot of people ask, "Oh no, if they wanted us gone, we would have been gone a long time ago." No one wants to rule over dust and ash, right? So they're not going to just flick an asteroid at us from the asteroid belt and go, "We'll just wait out the world to again." Right? No, they don't want to rule over dust and ash. They want to rule over the paradise that we have, right? And what if the nuclear weapon is the only thing that's holding them back?
Yeah, I mean, so to be clear, right?
Devil's advocate.
Yeah. Like, just to reiterate or clarify, like, we would say that all extraterrestrial civilization
Are good.
contact would be peaceful. Inherently.
Inherently, because they've grown past this idea of self-destruction.
Right. But to indulge speculation, if you can disarm or almost set off a nuke, surely that's not a threat. Then you're not threatened by the nukes, right? So you don't actually care. Right. So I don't know.
It's hard.
It's just hard for me to imagine, because it's just like, what would they gain from, like, coming down and invading us? It would be so dependent on whatever else you thought, right? Like,
I don't think you invade like we think.
Okay,
right? Hear me out. I don't think you invade with, like, the way we see an invasion, right? Like what we did in Iraq, for instance, right? For better or worse, like, just look at that. Or Vietnam. That's an invading force, right? That's coming to your door. They're coming over that border. But if you're going to infiltrate the world, right, you got to get them to think one way, right? You got to get them to, your plan has to be different here and there, just like you said in the beginning, right? So it's not just the Americans you need the Chinese on board. So you're going you're going to divide and conquer a little bit, and you're going to play the good guy that's here to bring you into paradise, to bring you over the finish line. That sounds great. When has anything been that good? And if it is that good, is it always true? Because for me, there's always a catch somewhere. So what if they're just like, what if this idea of the trickster, like Loki, right? The trickster, they come bearing false prophets or false prophecies. So just as much as we hear about the good stuff, there's the bad as well, because there's the yin and yang. So I don't believe that any non-human intelligence, by definition, is life outside of Earth, right? Angels, demons, the jinn, they all fall into that category of non-human intelligence. They're not all good, though. But they're not all bad. So I'm just saying, could someone be posing as the good guy in order to trick us because they want what we have? And what we have may be special. Consciousness, the soul, if you will. And I know you don't, again, I'm coming up against foundational problems in Raelianism for a reason.
Yeah.
Because what if we do, because like, have you ever heard of Bob Lazar?
Yeah, but I don't really I don't know much about him.
Okay.
I know the name, and I know how prolific he is.
Right, in the UFO world.
Yeah.
So he was the guy who broke, he was the whistleblower from inside Area 51.
Okay.
That, the George Knapp, and he had said something about how in the briefings he was given, the military had concluded that at least one of the species visiting Earth saw us as containers, batteries, if you will.
Yeah, I've heard this.
So again, I'm just throwing everything, because again, I don't believe in one thing. I'm trying to see the world as it is and as neutral as possible.
Yeah.
So I'm just not so quick to say, welcome.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Right?
And this is what I alluded to in the difficulty the Elohim will have when they come back, right? Because it's not just this, but it's facing Christians that are going to be like, well, you're the devil, and Rael's the Antichrist. And
so I guess my question being is, how do we know the Elohim, who Rael has been in contact with, right? How do we know that they are who they say they are?
Yeah, I don't know if I have a crystal clear
That's fair.
answer.
That's fair.
Right? There's an element of trust, I suppose, on our part.
Faith.
Sure. But I guess I just think like you said, if something was going to happen, I think it would have already happened.
Okay. And there's no answer that's the right answer, I think.
Sure. Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I guess I'm just posing the question.
Yeah.
Maybe rhetorically too. I don't know. Actually, because how do you answer that? Right? What does Rael? I'm sorry. I was kind of I feel like I always inflect on the wrong vowel. How does how do you say it?
Rael.
Rael?
Yeah.
So it is a long A. Ray.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What has he said about them? What do they look like? What do they feel like? What's their vibe? What's
peaceful and happy and friendly? When he met them, they looked like people, like humans. He described them as being a little shorter and with a greenish skin tone.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, I think the message is in his book he writes as if they had liver trouble or something, But here's the interesting
they have
thing,
jaundice.
Right? Here's the thing, though, is that calls to mind little green men, right?
For me, no, just because I'm outside of that mentality. But I see what you're saying.
Okay.
When you say that to an average person,
Sure.
They're gonna go, oh.
Right.
He said shorter and green.
Yeah. But they have this technology where they could upload their minds into new bodies, so they could appear as anything.
Oh.
So it could maybe they do look like us and they're human or whatever, but maybe they took this form that was a little archetypical, a little kind of classic science fiction-y, just to appear a little more familiar to Rael in that kind of way a little bit?
Kind of what I said earlier, screen memory, kind of,
Sure,
or that would be
yeah.
the ultimate screen memory. That's reality being changed. But
Right.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So when they first appeared to him, they came down in a flying saucer, and it was, had the blinking light, and it was very slow and kind of descended.
Wobbly descent.
Kind of how you imagine spacecraft would kind of be.
He said it was blinking.
Yeah, there was a blinking light.
Did he say a color, perhaps?
That
That you can remember?
but don't quote me, because it's like there's a light on top and a light on the bottom, and one is red and one is white. I don't know which. I don't think it I don't know if it matters, right?
Right.
Or maybe it does. I don't know.
Well,
But anyways,
it's interesting. It lines up.
Yeah. So, but on subsequent appearances, they came all at once. The spacecraft, it just like appeared like.
Out of nowhere.
Right. So they have this technology to do that, but to make someone who's unfamiliar with them and put them at ease, they kind of do the
Dumb
whole
themselves down a little.
yeah.
Or-
Not dumb yourself down, right? But like do something a little more expected or familiar.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not going to want to scare the person.
Right.
You're going to want to come as like, again, see, that's where I get that trickster element.
Yeah.
So inherently, by changing who you are, do you not agree that it's not, and again, it's not deceptive for like the wrong reason, the way you say it, right? They're trying to look the part, that to not freak you out, to bring you in slowly, kind of in phases, right? I see why you would do that, but do you see why someone might also say that's deceitful?
Yeah. I mean, I do.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
again,
I don't
that's
have,
just
like-
my mindset.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I think that is the right way to do it.
Mm.
I think it's to ease someone in, like come as something familiar, and then at the more that that their brain allows, give them. Then you start showing up instantly. 'Cause, the facade's kind of going away. It's becoming more normal. So you can start to open it up a little bit. Literally open the aperture, right? A little bit more light for the person. So I get it.
But to counter all this, like, if you're the Elohim, like, what are you supposed to do?
It's impossible to,
Yeah.
It's
There's
impossible.
no winning, right?
Because, it's funny to me. After this, we'll take a quick break. But, what's funny to me is this idea of little green men, right?
Sure.
Where did it come from? It's recent. I'll tell you that.
Oh man, I don't know. Like,
Because
I
it's
might
never
go- I
been
might-
about that.
I might go as far back as like fairies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jacques Vallée would say the same.
Yeah.
Very prominent researcher. Says that the fairies are the whole idea of it. If you just swap words, it's modern day UFOs and aliens,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But yes, you're onto
Yeah.
something there.
Yeah.
But
it's-
also
Yeah.
pop culture. Pop culture
Well,
has
yeah.
created this idea. But is that art reflecting life, or is it life reflecting art?
Right.
I
Yeah.
would argue
Mm-hmm.
that it is the latter. That the archetypal alien
Mm-hmm.
is actually drawn because Spielberg consulted with J. Allen Hynek, the lead astronomer on Project Blue Book.
Hmm.
So he was investigating cases for the U.S. Army, right?
Mm-hmm.
Spielberg was given that access. So he took like the craft in Close Encounters, right? It lights up. It's a disc.
Mm-hmm.
It gives the guy a sunburn at one part. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's physiological effects. Those are intricate details,
Mm-hmm.
very intricate details. And they're communicating with this species, not through English, but through music, because music is universal,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you start breaking these ideas down fundamentally.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he tweaked things for his movie,
Mm-hmm.
right? And to his life, because his mother was a music engineer and his father was a scientist, and he bridged the gap. like Close Encounters, literally for him, is bridging that gap. But he had access to all the real military files on how these craft looked, operated, the beings that were reported. So no, it's people go, oh, Close Encounters, that's where it all comes from. This alien,
Right.
black. No, it comes from the Project Blue files, and those were based on real casework, real people's sightings. So it's art imitating life. So it doesn't even matter if there's an archetype. That's what they want. It doesn't surprise me that they would look a little different. But the humanoid, but a little different.
Yeah.
Right. So that's never bothered me. But what bothers me is when people reduce it to little green men and like laugh about it. A lot of that comes from like South Park, believe it or not. Their first episode was Alien Probe Cartman.
Is that really the
first episode?
Yeah.
Is that episode?
Yeah.
It's making fun of Whitley Strieber, because Whitley Strieber is the guy who talks about being probed.
Oh, okay.
By an alien.
Okay.
Like being taken and probed by an alien.
Yeah, I think I only would know like Barney Hill and
Betty and Barney Hill. Yeah.
Betty Barney Hill.
So, again, it can all be traced back to pop culture references, and I think that is, I mean, we know with Project Operation Mockingbird that the U.S. government was influencing media to fix their narrative. We know that they're influencing what we see and what we hear in movies and TV to guide us a certain way. And again, you talked about how we needed that archetypal alien. They changed to be a little bit more familiar.
Maybe. Right.
Right. Maybe. Yeah. And so you see where I'm going with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But
so what does Rael say about? It comes down. It's a craft, right?
Yeah.
Is the craft like legitimately a disc?
He describes.
And then does it
like
open up and beings come out and grab them?
He describes it as a flattened bell. So
that may actually.
What, I don't know. Maybe this or maybe that guy up there, but kind of like a curve, like a low curve, and then like.
Right.
And then it lands. Or I don't know, hovers, I guess, above the ground a little bit, and then like a stairway comes out, and that's when.
And then they invite him on.
Yes.
It's not forceful.
Right.
And they're of flesh.
Yes.
Of flesh and whatever.
Yeah.
And
they sit in 2 chairs.
Really.
And talk. Yeah.
And really.
Yeah, and like this is.
Did they take him anywhere?
In the second encounter. So his first encounter with them was in 1973.
Right.
And then in 1975, they took him to their planet. Right. Yes. Which is similar. It also happens to Muhammad.
What is their planet called? What did he say that it was called?
I don't think they
didn't have like a name for it. It's interesting. Did he say what it looked like?
Beautiful. And at least the area he was in was kind of like tropical.
Architecture, anything?
The buildings were kind of like shells, like seashell kind of looking. A lot of the furniture was like a fur kind of material, but almost as if it were alive, not like a pelt, but as if,
right,
something.
That's cool.
Yeah. Unusual vegetation colors, seaweed that you could see and it looked like a rainbow under the water,
So this idea of colors again comes up.
Sure.
So he was seeing like arguably more color than he would here, right? Is what you're saying?
Most of our leaves are like green, right? But like, I don't know, if you can create life, that skill and technique only gets better over time, even for them. So they can.
Well, I wonder if he saw like if there was colors that like aren't on our spectrum. And like it was almost like a bit overwhelming, like seeing a new color, like super vibrant, like
maybe, but like it's still your same eyes, right?
Yeah,
you can't you can't suddenly see new things, right?
You can actually.
Oh, you can?
Yeah. So I mean, your eye gets like think about the green blue dress. Do you remember that? like the meme
Oh,
thing.
okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So I can trick your eye into seeing something
I guess.
color wise.
Yeah.
And you can, so
But that's not like
we only use
another
a
part of the
fraction.
spectrum, right?
Yeah, so our eyes are only capable of seeing like a certain percentage of the
Yeah.
visible light spectrum,
Yeah.
right? Because then you go into IR and like that's all on the same
Yeah.
spectrum.
Yeah.
So I wonder if like he goes to this place and his eyes are seeing like the remnants. He can't actually see it,
Mm.
but it's the remnants of like a higher dimensional, like evolved planet of beings. It's because it comes up in other cases.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's never been the impression I got.
This is why I'd love
You
to
know.
talk to him about that encounter.
Yeah.
Those encounters.
Yeah.
So he sees them twice. When does he officially create the Raelian movement? After the first sighting? Before the second?
Yeah, so after the first encounter, he creates it, but it's known as MADIC, which is like a French acronym for Movement for Welcoming the Elohim, or something like that. And then after the second encounter, he kind of reshapes it into the Raelian movement.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the Raelian belief suggests that humanity was created. So this is where he comes back and says, humanity was created by this advanced intelligence. How should we understand that idea, like in a non-sensational way, if that makes sense?
What do you mean sensational way?
How should we understand these ideas about the Elohim being not God, but our creator? How should we see that?
We should see them as equals. Even though they've created us, they created us in their image, and one day we too, if we get everything right and we're peaceful and can figure it out, one day we too will create life on another planet. So we're just a link in this infinite chain. And so they want to be seen and want to see us as equals to them. Yes, they're more technologically advanced, but in terms of feeling at one with the universe and in more spiritual or meditative ways, we're equal to them. So they want us to see them as equals. And that's a lot different than being afraid of alien invaders or being confronted with a God who demands worship.
Demands many things.
Yes. And so I think that's a really important distinction and something unique to the Raelian beliefs.
Interesting.
Understanding, I should say.
So they want us to know that they are no better, right? They might be, their intelligence level might be above us, but it's only because maybe they've had more time. They don't want us to see them as gods. They want us to see as equal. Mm-hmm. That we're all, like, this idea of something I've been thinking about lately. Why did man gravitate towards each other, right? Why did we seek in like the early primitive, caveman, like that era? Mm-hmm. Why did we come together? Out of the darkness, we came together and stood with each other instead of, just going through life, just you and your family or whatever, right? We sought each other out and formed these groups. And it's like we're almost doing that on a cosmic scale now.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
We're coming out of our infancy. Mm-hmm. And it's a parallel for me, right? Mm-hmm. The man of the caveman, right? Again, it's the progression. It's now we're not discovering fire, we're discovering space travel, right? Mm-hmm. We're on the next step. It's the next scale. It's the next step. It's the next frontier, they even call it, right? And we're looking out into this cold, or what we seem to think is this cold, dark abyss that we call the cosmos. And we need a little warmth, right? Mm-hmm. So I find a really interesting parallel there. And it's like, we need a companion to take this ride with, to show us the ropes, to show us what's really out there, right? We need to come together. We don't need to keep fighting each other. We need to come together. So it's interesting. So when we come back, I want to kind of really dive into some things beyond, just the surface level like things. But before we before we take the break, what do you think that if Rael was here himself, speaking to someone who maybe like got this bad rap from the media coverage, what do you think he would want them to hear? What message about Raelianism?
Yeah, I mean, our most fundamental value is freedom. And so I think the way the media has portrayed us in the past is that we're being manipulated by a charismatic cult leader, being robbed of our money. But I mean, that's obviously that's not happening. But if you don't like the movement, you're free to leave. Like, you don't have to stay. We're not trying to force people against anything, against their will.
Interesting. And what?
Yeah, so to enjoy your life, be happy whether you're Raelian or not. We're not here to convert people. We're only here to inform.
It's interesting. You guys have never like been aggressive towards me, like trying to like. It's never felt like someone's trying to convert me. It's like you just want to be heard.
Yeah,
and I find that to be incredibly interesting. So because it's very open and almost the opposite of what I would think. Like you look at a real cult like Scientology, they black the windows out on you. Right.
Yeah.
They literally won't let you leave.
Yeah.
Right. Once you're deep in.
Yeah.
Like that's a cult.
Yeah.
Right. Scientology. I think we can agree.
Yeah.
Scientology's like.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've heard like a good thing about it. But people probably haven't heard a good thing about the Raelian movement either.
Exactly.
That's not to be an apologetic for Scientology.
What do you think some of the failures have been media wise? Like what do you think? What do you think some things that you wish didn't happen?
Well, like all of it. I mean, what's the I don't know what the refined answer is, right? I don't know. Maybe there's a nice way.
What was the lady? Who's the lady that was trying to like create like genetically?
Yeah. So Dr. Bridget Boisselier was the founder and director of.
Why was that so like divisive?
Because it was happening in the United States, and people are very religious, or people like
fundamental. Yeah,
people like to either. People aren't very religious until they're like threatened, and then they're like, "No, I'm super religious," So, so there's a lot of fundamental Christians here who, thought we were playing God, didn't like that idea, and
but can you say we?
Their opinion,
Because like, should we even be saying we in that situation?
How do you mean?
Like, what? Was it the Raelian movement trying to clone it, or was it just her?
No,
and she was a Raelian.
She was Raelian, yes, and she was supported and encouraged by Rael, yes.
Okay. Okay.
But it wasn't like a Raelian.
You see what I mean? Like I could be Christian and be a murderer. Doesn't mean all Christians are murderers.
Yeah.
Or that are advocating for murder.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this was actually like, okay, we support what you're doing. Because again, if our creators are scientists, we can.
Right. So this kind of ties back into two things that we were talking about earlier. Is one, I mentioned that the Elohim can upload their minds into new bodies.
Right.
This is part of a process that they use to have achieved eternal life. So you clone a new body.
That's so bad.
Right. You clone a new body. Or your body.
Yep.
And they have a technique to accelerate its growth, so you're not waiting like 20 years to be re-uploaded into a new body or whatever. And then the mind uploading. So cloning is this first step towards eternal life. And so that's why we were so like,
And again, if
supported
consciousness wasn't
right.
separate,
If it weren't physical,
yeah, if it
how
weren't
would you
physical,
pull
you
this
couldn't
off?
pull it off.
Yeah.
Because it's like up. Okay, I see where you're going.
Yeah. So, and then the other
Damn.
thing was,
And you couldn't do this if consciousness wasn't.
right.
You really couldn't.
I mean, I don't think so. Yeah.
If consciousness was some sort of ethereal,
Yeah.
like spirit thing, you couldn't like put that into a clone and have it work. It would need to be something that could be transferred.
Right. And
so
that's-
that makes an interesting case for that.
Yeah. And that's probably scary if you're like a Christian, you're like, you don't even want to know what the theological implications are of that. Right.
Right.
But, you know, earlier I also mentioned like we have the technology to make the world like a better place and we just don't utilize it. And I mean, we know we can clone things, right? Even if you don't buy into cloning helping to achieve eternal life or whatever, like if your child died in an accident and you could like bring him back to life,
Yeah.
you know, like, or
That's
something,
tough.
or just like
That's tough.
my cat died and I just want my cat back, you know, though that's something simple and kind of more innocuous, but there's a world that we're missing out on because religious fundamentalists are afraid of it.
That would
Because
be,
it challenges their beliefs.
yeah, that's a hard debate too. Like
And this was the thing.
whether we should just be throwing around like, hey, my cat died, I want the same cat. Make it.
But like, is that maybe that like sounds stupid or something?
No, it doesn't.
But it's like
for me, it sounds all too powerful because like
Yeah.
I would clone my dog in order to never lose
yeah,
him.
yeah,
Sad to say, but I would do it.
right.
I would be selfish and do it.
And this was our
I think that's where people think maybe that they think it's selfish because maybe they think loss is supposed like that is supposed to be a part of life. But who said that
Right.
death is supposed to be something that we have to go
right.
through?
I think like learning to deal and overcome the fear of death is an important part of life.
Right.
But we all enjoy being alive. You shouldn't
I fucking love it.
right? You shouldn't not enjoy it. I think it's okay to want to continue living. And if that means cloning, like I think that's okay too.
Yeah, and CRISPR, we see like it's someone's going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a matter of if or when.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not a matter of if. It's a matter of if it when.
Yeah.
Someone's going to do it.
Yeah.
Wait, the Chinese, like someone's gonna do it,
Mm-hmm.
and then whoever does unlock that, I mean, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That the world will never be the same,
Mm-hmm.
ever,
Mm-hmm.
ever.
And that's our role as Raelians, is to say like it's okay. Like this isn't something you have to be afraid of. This can be beneficial.
This could be normal.
Right.
Interesting. Okay, let's take a little break. This has been heavy, but this is exactly why I reached out for someone who was a religious scholar specifically.
I don't
Someone who
know.
could take this kind of discussion.
Yeah.
Not many people can, believe it or not.
I mean, I'm not like technically I'm not a scholar.
Someone who's a religious person who's
Yes.
of a certain like caliber. So
Sure.
you were asked to be a Raelian guide.
Yes.
What does that mean?
I mean
Quickly, I guess.
yeah, like the dumbed down way to say it would be like it's like a Raelian priest.
Mhm.
Um,
That's what you call someone who's in a little bit like someone who's facilitating the
effective,
herd.
like a leader or a representative of the organization. Yes.
I like the word better, guide. It's like it's someone who's teaching you clearly. So and you turn that down.
No.
So you are.
I am a guide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So interesting. Okay, so we'll dive into some of this. Some of the more. I have a ton more questions I haven't even got to because I really liked harping on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be right back. Gonna pay the bills too. As a show where I, the host, am not a drinker and I do not consume alcohol, I do like to kick back and still take the edge off a little. I decided to partner up with Good Feels Hemp, and they make an amazing THC infused seltzer, and that is legal in any state that marijuana is legal. Shipped to you. It's amazing. You can kick back and relax with their non-alcoholic, zero sugar, no calorie seltzers. It's what I use to take the edge off and sit down on Friday night while I'm about to, partake in a long night of editing. You can use code disclosure at www.getgoodfeels.com. Again, that is code disclosure at www.getgoodfeels.com. Link is in the bio. All right, we're back. And again, I just want to make sure that you remember, if you're watching this video, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. It truly does help the show in a tremendous way. It's free. It takes 20 seconds. And if you're listening on one of the great podcast platforms like Apple or Spotify, you can leave a rating and a review. It helps us reach a wider audience and keep growing and keep being able to deliver these amazing in-person, in-studio shows. And if you want to go a little bit of a step further, you can become a member on YouTube or Patreon for the price of a cup of coffee a month. You get exclusive, ad-free, early episodes, as well as priority questions to guests and member-only segments like we're going to do for this episode you're watching today. So with that being said, let's get back into it. How we doing?
Good.
All right. Kind of jumping, right back into it. I kind of want to go into UFOs and contact and modern sightings. Do you believe that modern UFO sightings may represent continued observation or contact with the Elohim?
Yeah.
Starting kind of simple.
Yeah.
So, can you elaborate?
Sure. Lots of people have sightings of UAPs and UFOs or whatever. And I do think, many of them are the Elohim, trying to build interest, I guess, to pique people's curiosity, and so that they'll go looking for an answer. Like, what was that thing that I saw? And then, hopefully we have the answer for them.
Right. And I mean, I know I had a very broad daylight disc shaped craft, treetop level, that set me on this journey, right? From a young age. And I was never the same after, right? And you could argue that I'm only sitting here in this chair because of that event. And the other one with my mother, where I saw her essence leave the room, essentially, like a ball of light just leaving the room, or something coming into I don't know. But it changes people. This is the only subject that I've ever seen where once people dip their toes or have something happen, it's almost like they dedicate the rest of their lives to figuring out what they saw. Nothing else does that. Nothing. And that's interesting to me. Why do you think reports of UFO encounters often occur near sacred locations or strategic sites militarily?
Well, we kind of talked about military sites with nuclear weapons and such. I don't know about sacred locations.
Yeah. Like
UFOs
Stonehenge.
Stonehenge or something. I don't
Literally.
know. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well,
I'm
even
not familiar with.
Pyramids. The pyramids. Have you ever seen the Jerusalem footage when they're over the Temple Rock?
Yeah, but if it's the one that you're talking about, I think
it's not been debunked. I know what you're saying.
Okay.
It is not. It's
okay.
The debunkings are because I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's been debunked, right?
Yeah.
Not as much as I thought. So, and we know that there are these hot spots over the planet, right? All over, whether it's, magnetic anomalies, Bermuda Triangle. There are places on this earth where things aren't the same. And what are those? are those, you know, portals or places where the veil is thin enough where something can instantaneously, you know, that's like it's almost like a beacon, right? And it allows them to travel here instantaneously. And that's what our eyes observe, is something that arrives instantaneously. But maybe that's not what was really happening. It's just what we perceive it as being. You know, we see these craft doing 90-degree turns. That would turn any biological creature into jelly. The G-forces would just rip us apart, unless what we're seeing is an artifact of what it's actually doing. Because if I plug in, say I plug in coordinates, and now I add time to that coordinate, time as a coordinate itself. Now you're positioning, like, what you just punch in and punch out of this dimension, and it looks like you're going from point A to point B instantly. But what you're doing is you're punching out here, and you're coming back in here at the exact time, at the exact coordinate. You know, you see what I'm saying? So what might not be instant to the inside observer, to the outside observer, it looks like that. Right? And we know this to be the case. The twin paradox. One twin goes to space, one doesn't. Time moves faster for the twin in space. Relativity, right? Einstein. So these are things we know. And, you know, interdimensionality and all that has been brought up by people like David Grush. And I asked the rabbi about David Grush, the UFO whistleblower, and how he had said that the U.S. government is in possession of non-human biologics, and craft. So if that's true, do they have the Elohim?
I don't really think so. I might suspect that, you know, these crafts that the Elohim send down to pique interest and curiosity in people are effectively drones. This is all speculation. I don't think Rael's ever really said anything about this. I would guess that they're drones.
Unmanned.
Yeah. But also the Elohim can create biological robots, essentially. So something that could look and act human, but I don't know, doesn't have the consciousness the same way we do, or it could be.
People have reported that the Greys they move like, it's almost like they have no soul. Is what people say. But it's like they're cold and calculated. Right. Sounds like a robot.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
like a biologically infused robot.
Yeah. I don't think, like, the Elohim wouldn't come down here and be like expose themselves to the danger of being shot down. Not that I don't really think we would be able to do that. But why would you, like, do that? Why would you subject yourself to that, or like endanger yourself like that? So I don't necessarily think they themselves are coming down here.
Okay.
So if the U.S. government had biologics, I don't think it might be from the Elohim. I don't think it's like the Elohim. Okay.
Broader question. Do you think that if there's one species outside of this earth, there has to be many?
There's infinite. Yes.
Infinite?
Yeah.
So do you think we're dealing with multiple?
Could be, but so this is kind of funny how Rael describes this. Is Earth is kind of like a no-fly zone. I think that's the kind of phrase he uses. Where, well, I mean, like I just said, we're just so violent and aggressive. We discriminate and hate each other for the color of our skin or the clothes that we wear. I mean, people, if you wear a hijab, people have a lot of reactions to something like that. So something as innocuous as just the clothing you wear can make you the victim of an assault. People from space, people from other planets don't want to come here because they're not all human. They don't look human. Right. So they're waiting for us to become more peaceful too.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, so there's an infinite number.
But there could be some, because with every rule, there are rule breakers, right?
Sure.
So you could see a scenario where maybe other species are visiting, but trying to stay off the radar of this Elohim, because they've called it a no-fly zone. Like, hey guys, they need to be. We can't interact, right? We need to let this play out the way it's got to play out, right? And then, like, there's civilizations that are more advanced than us, but less than the Elohim.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Prone to mistakes, prone to,
sure.
Yeah, making judgment calls that
right.
aren't.
I think where you're onto something here is like, we're not the only humanity that the Elohim created. So it could be, maybe, that one of these other humanities has come to kind of scout and see what we're about. Because the Elohim told us that they're not in contact with those other humanities.
Interesting.
They didn't give a reason why. But I mean, because we were the first humanity they created, so they were more overtly present with their creation.
First child.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. So you ignore the other two children that come after.
Well, you're just like a little less like it's not that you're less protective. It's you're willing. You've been through the ringer before.
Yeah. Now maybe you want to see how it plays out without contact, right? Because I think like, kind of like, I don't know, I hate to say it, but like maybe their early contact with us has made things challenging for us, right? To have these different religions, people get very passionate and very violent.
All the wars.
Yes, over other people's religions. So it's created a lot of issues for us that I think have held us back, right? Again, we come back to the cloning example, where, I mean, that's strictly a religious fear and apprehension.
Yeah, it's not scientific. It's not a scientific
Maybe.
scare.
I think people were making that case at that time where it was like, well, if you clone someone and then they grow up and they have all these genetic defects, you know, something like that. So I think there was a concern there too, but people said the same thing about IVF, and now people don't give it a second thought.
Right?
So
absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
So I think with these other humanities, they want to see how things play out without their presence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, do you think that the U.S. government or any government knows of the existence of this advanced being civilization?
I don't know, man. Like when I watched your conversation with Leon, I kept like asking myself this, like, do I think that anyone else has like the full picture, the full truth? I don't know. I don't think so. I'm surely, like, there's a lot of evidence that governments have crafts or certainly have seen things.
Mm-hmm. Like the Vimanas, right? And the Epic of the
oh, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
The Vimanas, they're literally describing flying craft, right? At a time when nothing flew. Right? And that is similar to, the idea of like dragons. Like if you're flying in like a rocket over ancient Rome, they would say, "Oh my God, it's a fire-breathing dragon."
Sure, yeah.
Right? Fire's coming out one side. Yeah. It's a long, elongated thing. Like, so again, are we misidentifying? Could our ancestors have been misidentifying technology?
Yeah.
Is the core, and because I think I actually have high suspicion that the Vatican is actually the original cover-up of this idea that we are not alone.
Mm.
I think they were the beginning. The
Mm.
church, because they were judge, jury, and executioner, right? And I think they were the law of the land just as much as they were like the moral law of the land. Like the church ruled at one point. They ruled the world. And, I just think that they didn't want this out. And it began there. So I think the Vatican archives are full of things, from the Library of Alexandria that could help shed light on what others thought, what others were seeing, like the Egyptians. Because I don't think the modern dynastic Egyptians created the pyramids either. I think they're far older. And I think the dynastic Egyptians inherited them. Because you see that with the pyramids that are the oldest are the most pristine. How does that work? Once you get up to like the bent pyramid, it's like they couldn't do it. They couldn't figure it out again. And we've never found a tomb inside of a pyramid ever.
Oh, really?
Not one mummy has ever been discovered inside a pyramid. So this idea that their tombs is just ridiculous.
Yeah, and they coordinate to like
astrological perfection.
Yeah, something in the speed of light, maybe, or
yes.
I don't know.
So the base of the pyramid, the circumference of the pyramid, like whatever the mathematics work out to the speed of light, and they're aligned exactly to astronomical north, and they mimic the 3 stars of Orion's belt. Like, how could you do that if you're a hunter-gatherer society?
Right.
You can't.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, like ancient Greeks, figure out the Earth was round. I don't want to discount like human genius and ingenuity and, people's ability to have figured that out. But that stuff, some of that stuff's a tall order, like Nazca lines, right? Like that. I mean, that's a little more mysterious to me than the pyramids, I think.
Yeah, Göbekli Tepe, which is older than and Zep Tepe is even older, and it predates the flood. Like there's nothing that's supposed to have been able to do that, to create such vast, intricate complexes. Like Stonehenge looks like child's play in comparison to Göbekli Tepe. Like unreal, and it was buried on purpose. It seems like they knew something was coming. Do you think that humanity has been reset? The world has been reset.
Yeah, I mean, so
the flood.
Yeah, so in Rael's first encounter, the Elohim kind of took him through our history or whatever.
Can you take me through that?
Sure. I mean,
to the best of your ability.
Briefly, yeah. So like, a lot of this is recorded in the Bible, and so humanity made lots of technological progress. I don't know what they were capable of. I don't know if they were like making airplanes or whatever. And initially, the Elohim, their main government, didn't want the scientists to create human life like them. So they were afraid at this time, with their understanding of that at that time, they were afraid that we might become a threat to them. So
fair.
So that's kind of like what the flood was. That was like the reset, I guess you could say.
Right. I mean, every culture across,
they all have like
the flood story.
Yeah.
And it's in the geological record as well.
Yes.
When you look at some of the erosion on the Sphinx, right? Like it's clear that some sort of like very large amount of water came through very quickly, very fast, and the Younger Dryas impact theory. This is where that is. Whether it was a comet that impacted, that melted some of the glacial ice, and then that came, that raised ocean levels across the world, right? So much so that water just ripped through everything.
Mhm.
And we see evidence of that.
Mhm.
So again, I think that, the problem with humanity right now is we're so we need to know. We need to think we have control,
Mhm.
right? That we understand everything.
Mhm.
They want us to believe that the world is black and white. 0, 1, yes or no. But it's so much more gray.
Mhm.
And I think they're robbing us of something,
Mhm.
but not telling us that we're not alone in the universe.
Right. It might not all be nefarious for people keeping secrets, but I think it's natural for scientists now to think that, we have the most scientific understanding we've ever had. And I suppose we might, but that doesn't mean that in 1,000 years, how much more are we going to learn and figure out and realize how much we have now is wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't have this sense of time in that way.
Have you ever seen anything you couldn't explain?
No.
You've never seen it?
No. I've met people, I've met Raelians who have seen flying saucers or whatever, but I've never, to my knowledge, I've never seen one.
Interesting.
Yes.
Can you tell me a story about one of these Raelian sightings?
So I had a friend who was leading I don't know, some kind of Raelian gathering, and she had this feeling, this intuitive urge to look at the sky. So the couple people that were with her, she was like, "Look," and there something was, and
A disc or a light?
like a disc, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
And in broad daylight?
Yeah, it was during the day.
And
something else happened too. She said, I can't quite remember it, where she could tell where it was going to be. And she was like, "Oh, now look over there," and there it was, or I don't know, something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I want to say too, though, in regards to the flood and this reset, the Elohim didn't know that they were part of this infinite chain of creation that I was talking about. But after the flood, they realized it. That their own creators had set up some sort of spacecraft or archive that landed on their planet, because apparently their planet was destroyed somehow. Some sort of solar or cosmic disaster, I don't know. They don't really give detail on this. But at any rate, some spacecraft had been set around the Elohim's planet and landed, and I don't know, laid it all out on the table, so to speak. So that's when the Elohim realized, this isn't just some scientific experiment to throw away. These are our children. And so that's when they started guiding us and helping us and really loving us. The whole reason that we were saved from the flood is because of the scientists that created us. I mean, loved us as their children. But the Elohim's government was so apprehensive that they hadn't allowed this creation to happen at first.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, we talk about what if they're really tricksters, right? Trying to get just but the whole history, you look at any religion, if they're tricksters, man, they're playing the long game, right? Because every religion teaches to love one another and to be peaceful. Right? Yeah. Now, of course, humanity has twisted religions to fit its own selfish needs, right? Where that's how you get people using God to justify conflicts and wars and
land
grabs and crusades and whatever. Yeah. So, but if you look at historically how the Elohim have taught us and interacted with us, it is through this desire of love and kindness. So, and that's why I don't think they're tricksters either.
Yeah.
Or else, for thousands of years you tell these people to be all about love and peace, and then
only to be evil and deceit.
Right.
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 Maybe. So I guess maybe more of a concern now that you're saying it would be one of these other humanities trying to pretend that they're the Elohim to get, you know what I mean? Could that be where some of this?
I don't think so. I don't think they know their origins, because in the bit of the message that the Elohim gave us about these other humanities, they say that it's our job to give them the message of the Elohim, for us to explain to them their origin and creation.
Interesting.
So then what's fucked is, like, if these other humanities are in contact with our individual governments, then as a Raelian, it's like, how do I talk to them?
Right.
But,
Wow.
But I don't know that they've made it so far. You know.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
There's a story, right? I'll tell you two, because I think this. So President Eisenhower, he was in Palm Springs, actually. Contacting Desert is held in Palm Springs. It's Coachella Valley. It's gorgeous. It's, just resort after resort. It's one of those places. But Eisenhower's out there, and he goes missing. For all intents and purposes, he goes missing. Secret Service doesn't know where he is, for the most part. No one knows where he is. The press even pre-wrote an article about his death because they thought that he was missing. They thought they were trying to hide that he had passed away, and they were getting ready. So they wrote this article, not website, Jesus. This newspaper wrote an article, like, getting ready for his death. And he was gone for like 12 hours. And reportedly, in that 12 hours, what happened was he was ushered out. And the official story is that he had dental work, secret dental work that he needed. So he disappeared. And it just doesn't add up.
He didn't tell the Secret Service he had to get
dental. There's no record of him having any dental.
Okay.
Because all that stuff is recorded.
Sure.
The president's logs.
Yeah.
So unless he didn't want people to know he was having a tooth extraction, like, it doesn't make sense. But others have said that no, what actually happened was they needed to take him to a secure facility close by. We don't know what facility, but I can speculate what's close by Southern California, right? It's a helicopter ride away, right? I'll let the audience infer, but there's only a few places, and apparently there he met alien beings, or I don't like the word alien, I like non-human. They were non-human intelligence. He met them there, and they had said that they wanted to help us, and that if we disarmed our nuclear arsenal, we'll give you free tech, like 0-point technology. We'll give that to you, and we'll help you usher in a new age of paradise. Right? Sounds similar to something. And he wouldn't do it because he wouldn't disarm, because he said, if I disarm, the Russians aren't going to disarm. No one else is going to disarm. So he couldn't take that risk. And then there's this another story about a Holloman Air Force Base landing where something else occurred, and he was given this offer again, but there was no disarmament deal. It was from a gray species. That's the story. So he was offered it by a set of race that was asking to disarm our nukes,
right? And
will, in turn, will give you technology that will change the world. He turned it down, and then another species came through and said, "Hey, you don't gotta disarm, but we'll give you the technology, but you have to let us abduct and do the, come as we want. That's the lore. How spot on is it? I don't know. Right? These are all stories. They're obviously unconfirmed stories, but a lot of people said that it's true. So, I mean, if it's not the Elohim, then what is happening?
Right.
That's my question.
Yeah.
If it's not the Elohim, who are all these things that are visiting us? If that's real.
Yeah, I mean, all this stuff gets wrapped up in its own mythology.
Yeah.
And takes on a life of its own. But yeah, there's like these common threads of people from space wanting to help.
Yeah.
You
Then Zimbabwe.
It could even be the Elohim posing as grays, I guess, again, speculation. And they're just kind of testing humanity, like, oh, let's see, would they disarm if we just outright said we would help them? And, they say no, and so then they know, like, that we're not ready.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Right. That's the kind of thing that I think might happen. I don't know. I don't think Rael's ever said anything, to my knowledge, about that. But
it's like, who was the person that they were going to sacrifice their child?
Oh, Abraham.
Abraham,
yes.
right? Story of Abraham, right? And then at the last minute, God
right.
just, it's stop.
Right. Yeah.
You've proven yourself.
Right.
Or you were, like, was he deceived by the devil? I can't remember.
Yeah, so there's two of the Elohim. One is Yahweh and one is Satan. Satan is...
Ooh, wait, what?
Satan is one who believes that creating humanity was a mistake because we're so violent.
So he is an Elohim himself.
Yes.
Which lines up with the lore.
But he's not, like, evil.
He's indifferent.
He just thinks that we were a mistake because we're so violent, and that there's no recourse to set us on the right path.
Holy shit.
He hopes we do. Like, he still loves us. He's just not convinced that we're gonna get our shit together.
Huh.
And anyway, so the deal with Abraham was, look, these people are so stupid.
Watch, I'll get him to kill the kid.
Yeah. I bet I could convince this guy to kill his own son. And then as he was about to do it, they were like, no, don't actually fucking do it.
That's...
Yeah. So maybe that's your trickster element, I suppose, right? But it's to see...
So is it Satan or Lucifer?
Lucifer is a third one. Lucifer is one of
it's
the
a
Elohim.
Different entity?
Yeah, Lucifer, because Lucifer means light bringer or something. So,
morning star.
Yeah, so because he brought the light of scientific knowledge to the humans that they created. So he was part of the team that created humans against the regulations of the Elohim's government. They created humans anyway. And
what you're going through with the cloning.
Right. And they loved their creations, the humans they made. And so when the government realized that humans had been made, they were like, okay, well...
Can't stop that now.
Right, so just don't teach them any scientific knowledge. You can teach them about, like, plants and animals and things, but don't teach them, like, how to build nukes or what airplanes. I don't know, whatever. Right?
Show them agriculture. Show them how to keep themselves alive, but don't...
Yeah. But Lucifer and his team were like, but we love them as our children or as our equals, and so we want to teach them. And so that's how he was
the garden.
Light. Yes.
The garden. Huh. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. From your worldview, what happens when a human dies?
Nothing.
Elaborate, man. That's it? Lights out?
Yeah.
Why?
No soul. So what would happen? What happened?
But why?
What happened before you were alive? Nothing. You weren't anything. I mean, you were whatever. You were the floor. You were dirt.
I see it. Yeah.
You know? And when you die, You'll just go back to being nothing.
But doesn't that seem wasteful?
Wasteful?
Yeah, the universe is a lot of things, but wasteful it is not.
Okay.
Why would this be finite? Why would our essence be finite?
I mean, in a way, it's not, right? There's no destruction of matter. It just takes a different form, right? It's just consciousness is just awareness. Right?
So you're saying that
you're just
we need
matter
to clone.
You're just matter that's aware that you're matter. And so when you die, just that awareness stops.
That's hard to process for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because that would mean that we need eternal life and we need to clone. Because
I don't think so.
if there's no difference.
Yeah.
If there's no difference.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
If when we die, lights out.
Yeah.
Then I want this ride to go on for fucking thousands.
Sure. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's one way to look at it. I
so,
think that's fine. Yeah.
If there's no heaven and hell, lock me in.
Yeah.
Like, let's start cloning.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. But also, it makes life more precious.
It does.
You know, it helps emphasize how important it is to be kind to one another and to cherish each moment you have with the people that you love, you know.
Fuck, man.
So, you know, people say or think that it's scary to know that, like, you know, your best friend or your family member isn't in heaven or something, but
I don't even want them in heaven. I want them to be like riding down the ancestral plane.
Sure.
Right? Like I want them on the next adventure.
In Valhalla.
Yeah, the next adventure.
Yeah.
Not that this adventure stops,
right.
And that's the only adventure. But there's another adventure waiting behind that, this one, right? I think that's what I want, is another adventure.
Well, the matter that you become will become something else, right? The matter that you and I are composed of once upon a time was like a Roman. You can get down like this can of worms with like reincarnation and all this
right
stuff,
well that's
not what I'm getting at. I just mean
you die, you go back into the ground
becomes something else,
becomes a tree.
Yeah, it's not that you haven't, like, you as in your mind or whatever you think your personality is haven't become the tree, right? It's not like this sort of fantasy reincarnation. Just like
the stardust that I'm made of isn't the star reborn. Right.
It's just matter that's attached itself or reformed into something else.
Woo! That's a bitter fucking pill. You realize that?
Sure.
Because religion, right? And this is interesting to me. This whole thing, you guys don't think there's an afterlife, right? And for religion, I mean, that's opposite. Usually religion, in my opinion, has been around to help people cope with death and to live, right? Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not murder, I should say. Because you can kill, because you can kill to eat, but you can't murder. You can't murder another human. But you can defend yourself, and if that means it's you or them, like, and you have to kill them. That's not you murdering them. It's you defending your own life.
I mean, I would disagree. But...
So there is a difference between taking a life and murder. Murder's typically done in an aggressive, either premeditated or enraged state, right?
Yeah.
Killing, like if someone was attacking you with an axe, and you got that axe, and the only way to stop them from, then jumping on your throat is for you to unfortunately do what you got to do, and they lose their life.
Yeah,
Who's right?
I don't know, man. I'm not convinced.
Well, if there's no heaven or hell, it doesn't matter. Does it?
I don't know. I mean, I still think it does matter.
I'll tell you what,
I
it
think
matters.
I think that's kind of like a cheap argument, because that's what any Christian would say. Why can't he be atheist, right? You just have no sense of morality.
When in fact,
I think
secular morality is.
I think that's shortchanging human nature.
Yeah,
so
I agree. Most people just want to.
Yeah.
They want to be kind. They don't want conflict.
Yeah.
Right. 99.9% of the time, the people I meet just want to get to where they're going, do what they're doing. Like, no one wants to fight you, but there's that 1%, 0.1%, right? So that's off that beaten path.
Wait, hold on. I don't know what if the next question is going to change the topic, but I also want to mention the idea of heaven comes from the Elohim's planet of eternals. As I mentioned, through cloning, they've achieved eternal life. And so for some people from Earth, they do recreate them to live amongst their eternals eternally.
Oh. So there could be some sort of ascension.
Could be. But it's not something exclusive to the Elohim necessarily.
Right.
Like, it's something that we could do.
Right.
Right. And when that day comes, we'll have to figure out, like, what qualifications are we going to look for in people that we
allowed
give this to? Right?
Do. Because not everyone can. You can't just.
I mean, yeah, right. Like
8 billion people
right?
can't.
They don't recreate all their own people for eternal life. They have whatever qualifications and tests or whatever they.
I would assume that's where morality comes in. If we're on that scale,
sure, like
right?
if you're like, well, I want to be recreated for eternal life, so I won't kill. I still don't know if that actually makes you a good person, though, right?
Well, what I'm saying, yeah. What I'm saying is, people who live a more like genuine life, those would be the people you'd want to grant eternal life to.
Sure.
Not someone who's a serial criminal.
Yeah.
Right? Or someone who's consistently not learning their lesson. It's not that they can't learn their lesson. It's just, you haven't yet. So you haven't shown us that you can that you've earned this, right? So again, I think that's I like that you brought that up though. I don't even know where, because that's frightening.
Why is it frightening?
It just frightens me that this light's out. I don't know why. I don't know. Because that makes it so finite. It makes this ride the only ride. So now I'm like, if that's true, we need to get on this CRISPR shit.
Right.
Have the Raelians successfully cloned a human being?
I don't know. I mean,
what's the official narrative?
That Bridget did clone at least one human baby named Eve. And I mean, she would be in her 20s now or something.
Do you think that it is true?
I think it's possible, yeah.
Why?
It doesn't like.
Why does it have to
I
be a
don't
mystery?
feel like it affects me one way or the other, I guess.
But if they've done it, we need to
like do more.
Do more.
Sure.
Like, let's get over this little play God bullshit.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
If we can do it, we can do it safely. We can put guardrails on it. We don't have to let, again, I'm not giving everyone a time machine, right?
Right. And this is why I mean, like, just clone pets. Just give people a few years to just kind of get comfortable with that.
Yeah.
That's my push. Is like clone your pet.
And then normalize.
You're right.
Again,
generations go by.
Generations go by.
Decades go by.
Then it becomes normal.
Yeah.
There's a normalcy to it.
Right.
So again, but that process would have to begin with Bridget saying, "I did it.
Yeah.
Here's the proof."
Right.
Why haven't we got that?
It was to protect Eve's identity. Yeah.
But Eve is a miracle, arguably.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. What does Rael think?
I think he trusts Bridget on this.
Has he met Eve?
I don't know. I've
Yeah.
never heard one way or the other, actually.
What is there any like company line that you have to tell,
No, not really.
or you have to believe that
No,
it's real?
I mean, really, like, if you wanted like the deep scoop, it's that I mean, some Raelians just don't care. I think I'm kind of one of them, and then some, have strong opinion. I think this was something kind of divisive within the movement. That was around the time I was getting involved, so I don't know like the internal drama that happened, but from other friends I've spoken with, it was. I mean, it was overwhelming to have this media coverage too.
Christianity, they get the news for, the Catholic Church, I should say. They're in the news for what wink wink, what we all know, and the Raelians are in the news because they may have cloned.
Right.
What the fuck kind of upside down are we living in?
Yeah.
Right? Where they call you a cult.
Yeah.
And them a religion.
Yeah.
The fuck is that?
Yeah.
What do you mean? They're guilty of what? Like, God, what do you mean sex parties? Like, they started talking about that in the Netflix documentary. I go, this is coming from the fucking place with that Epstein Island occurred with.
Yeah.
Like, don't lecture me about, like, at least it's all consensual in this case. There's no lawsuits that I can find that allege anyone has ever claimed that they were assaulted by Rael or anyone else. So, like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
We're just discrediting because for cloning? Elon Musk is making brain chips. Peter Thiel might be the Antichrist, but Rael's the problem?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
Pardon my French here.
Yeah, it's just because people are uptight about sex. We don't have big organized sex parties, right? But we say you don't have to be monogamous.
Right.
We supported, if you're gay or trans, like we've always supported that. So, decades ago, that was, challenging.
That was a no-go.
Yeah.
That's no-go.
Yeah,
territory.
So a lot of people are very particular and reserved about.
It's almost like you guys are actually.
Sex.
You guys are exactly what you say you are, and I think that's what people don't. They're scared of that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you guys say it, you're like, listen, there's no soul, right?
Right.
Cloning, like that's the next step to eternal life. We know that's like, come on, guys. The clues are all around us, right?
Yeah.
And then, I've never met God.
Mm-hmm. But you might see like Jesus's face on a piece of toast,
right?
And that might be proof,
right? But I have seen a UFO,
yeah,
and it made me. So it ignited something in me. It lit a fire inside me to a quest for truth, which led me to sitting down here with you.
Mm-hmm.
It led me to sit down with members of Congress. Led me to places I never dreamed possible.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe in something like fate? Destiny?
No, everything is about your own responsibility to us.
There was a lab. I gotta find out. Maybe you can look it up. What lab did this? Jamie, look it up. Jamie, bring it up. Find out which lab did this. But they.
Can we correct Jess?
They
Jess, look it up.
Well, you're Rogan Jamie. Look it up. Find out which lab did this. They froze water, but they spoke to the water. And yeah, it was some university lab that did it. And essentially they would speak to the water and then freeze it. And they would use words that had positive connotation and negative connotation, right?
Yes.
And they'd freeze it and then they'd pull it. And the ones that had words like love, the crystals would freeze beautifully, right? All symmetrical, perfect, beautiful crystals, right? Crystalline structure. And then words like hate or war or, racism, the structure would be wild and wonky. So what they were concluded after various run-throughs is that your intent matters. Your words, what you speak into existence, matters. It affects the matter around you, essentially, right? So that's why when you're having a good day, you hit every green light, right? Because you're vibing, right? You're in a positive mentality. But then there's the day where you wake up and you knock your shin off the metal piece of something on the bed, and then you hit every red light. Everyone's a piece of shit. No one can drive, and everything goes wrong. I think it's a testament to that.
Yeah, what you're talking about there is also your perception. If you think you're having a bad day, you're going to just notice all the things that you think are bad. So it's about having your head screwed on straight too. Right. There is no good or bad day. It's just how you decide to see it.
That's an interesting answer.
Yeah.
Because that's arguably also true.
Yeah.
You'd be honing in on the negativity.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the Institute of Noetic Sciences.
So the Institute of Noetic?
Yes. Noetic Sciences.
Noetic.
Yes.
I think it's noetic.
Oh, whoops. But it's Dr. Masaru Emoto.
Yeah. So that's the first time I've credited that. I've told that story 100 times. Never credited the lab. So finally, what lab was it from? University of...
That's what it was. The institute that I just said.
What was it again?
Hold on. Just exited out.
Damn it. Oh, the Institute of Noetic Sciences. Okay. So that's the lab, the accreditation that it came from. And it was Dr. Okay, I got it. Got it. The Noetic Institute. Got it. So I just found it to be interesting. And they also said that people, large amounts of people had, this is a different study, but they put random number generators all around, all over the place. Like for my, like all over the place. And it was groups of people could affect the outcome of the numbers. It's supposed to be random, but it would start coming up as like targeted. Like a group could think it into a specific number. And then there's a bunch, these stories of people before 9/11, before Pearl Harbor, who had dreams of being attacked the night before.
Yeah.
So like premonition, destiny. Could it be something that, time? We know time's not linear. It's just how we perceive it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like some weird temporal thing.
I think it's more like a donut.
When it comes to like, like I read a story once of someone who, had an important flight to take, and then the night before he was like, "Oh, I gotta cancel it," and then that flight like had a crash.
Crash, right?
Yeah. I don't think that's him like having a premonition. Something like 9/11. Maybe you're picking up something. You're picking up the plan. Like there's something
major catastrophe.
Yeah, or I don't know. I don't know how to say it. Like, because there's people planning to do something, and so you're picking up the brain waves of
Negative
the
energy.
negative vibes of that. I don't know,
Again,
something like
so you don't think there's anything like ghosts then? In the form of like dead people walking. But again, what about what I said? Where it could be
like
an echo of the
repeating echoes.
atoms that
I
once.
still don't think so, because like when you die, like all that stuff just disperses. Like, your body just rots, and whatever energy you have is just
So grim. So that's one of the most grim sentences anyone's ever spoken in this room. Your body rots, and go ahead.
I don't know. I don't think there's ghosts.
Yeah. So all of that's bullshit.
Yeah. So I don't think there's.
Do you think Bigfoot's bullshit?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that we've gotten that out of the way.
And we're asking the big questions here.
The big ones, the existential ones.
So I don't think there's like fate, and I don't know. I have like weird ideas about free will anyway, because I think on some level we're just like a reflection of the different things that have come to us. We're just a reaction to different events,
But it's also very interesting that you, not only you, but you, the Raelian movement, would you say that you are a good representation of the belief system in the movement? Do most Raelians think ghosts are bullshit?
Yeah.
And Bigfoot's bullshit?
Yeah. Most, yeah.
Okay.
Ghosts, definitely. I don't like to probably find.
But it's interesting to me, and that there's no soul.
Right.
So there's no heaven, there's no hell.
Right.
That's the
I mean, heaven, hell, soul, God, like that stuff's like fundamental.
And that's what I mean. So that's fun. It's fun. It's fair to say that is a belief that is held among all Raelians, and that's interesting to me because, it's you guys are like, it's interesting that again you're saying exactly who you are, and you're kind of like calculated. It's like it's the common sense answer to each issue, right? What happens when we die? Nothing, right? Yeah. Nothing. You recycled into the world and you create life. You know what I mean? It's a cycle. But just like the evaporation of water. It's like we're going back into the oil. It's the oil, but the soil. And then, we can clone. We gotta clone, and then. So how do we get our essence into a cloned body? Do I no longer exist? Say I clone myself.
Yeah.
Do I no longer exist as me, and the clone, their brain develops and creates its own consciousness that has my memories?
Yeah, so...
Do you mind if I...
Yeah.
Killing me small.
Sorry.
Go ahead, continue.
So when Rael went to the Elohim's planet, they showed him how this process works. Some big machine, and he could watch the body taking form and then like stepping out of the machine to walk and talk to him. And so the Elohim took a sample of Rael and made a clone of him. And they said something like, now there's another one of you, and we're going to destroy him because there doesn't need to be two of them. So by knowing that his personality is already taking on a different form than you, because he knows he's going to be destroyed, but that he's okay with it because he knows he's just a copy. So I think this is like some sort of philosophical question, like the Martian problem, where some philosopher posed this scenario where maybe there's, we have some technology that can instantly teleport us to Mars.
Right.
And you and your friends have all been doing this. And they're like, oh yeah, it's great. You can go to Mars, you can come back in an instant. It's awesome. And they finally convince you to do it. So you go to this machine and you find out that actually it's not instant teleportation. They just clone you onto Mars and destroy your current body on Earth.
Jeeps.
But for all intents and purposes, it's you on Mars. So which is you?
Well,
So now can there be two of you? I mean, yeah, because there's no
we're not
soul.
sharing the same experience.
Right, so you become two different people.
So
But
is
that's
it
what
me on
twins are,
Mars?
right? Twins are, identical twins are genetically the same, but they have completely different lives.
Yeah, but I want to go see Mars myself.
Sure, but
I wouldn't want my clone to see it.
It's like
I get the argument,
yeah,
the debate.
It's a fun thought experiment.
It is a good thought experiment. But it's almost like a branch timeline, right? Because as soon as that clone is then created, if it is standalone conscious, its life it might remember mine, but it's not its life. Its life began that moment.
But it thinks that it is the same life.
So it doesn't know? I think you said
think
it did
so.
know. It's a copy.
You know, like the you that's on Earth is told that actually it's not instant teleportation, it's going to be a copy. But I guess I don't know, I'd have to like reread this because I'm not sure what the Mars copy knows.
Okay. Because I'd be interested to follow up on that.
Yeah. But it's just another one of those kind of questions like, how do these traditional religious beliefs about identity or souls, how does that stand up to modern or future technology? And it doesn't, and they don't have an answer for it. And that's where I think the Raelian explanations are unique and interesting, where they're primed to help guide people through these tough questions. Yeah.
And that is what a religion does.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Helps you through the tough
questions. So Christianity doesn't help you. They just say no cloning. Right? No genetically modifying this or creating a little
Can't play God.
Yeah.
They
don't have an answer. Right? And every time they've been challenged with scientific discoveries, they have to completely right?
Yeah.
Actually, no, we've always known that the Earth spins around the sun, and God works in mysterious ways, and they always have to come up with something, but they're always backpedaling.
They are always backpedaling, and because they recently said that they would baptize an alien.
Yeah.
And it was like, what makes you think the alien wants to be baptized, you creep?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
What the fuck does that mean?
Whatever.
You're going to dunk him in your water?
Yeah.
Like, and what? Is he going to be like, I'm changed, right?
Yeah.
Like, that sounds so stupid. Because again, they're positioning themselves as the authority.
Yeah.
And again, we're equal, but we're not. Again, you're not above them just because you have to baptize them.
Mm-hmm.
They're the advanced species. What are you talking about?
Right. And obviously, I don't believe this, but what if it were the reverse? Like, what if extraterrestrials came to us and were like, you need to believe in
our source?
Yeah, in our.
There is a story. Ready? Early on, I believe it's George Adamski. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's his case. Maybe Jamie can look it up.
She's like, I'm never doing this again.
But they would give him trinkets, and they told him that one of the trinkets was a statue of what they called the source, which is what they prayed to essentially. And I don't know, like he was one of these guys who had like amazing pictures of like clear flying discs, like that one. Like Billy Myers, those guys. So interesting, like bookmark, like, So I just look for that commonality. And again, it sounds like what are because again, prophets, if we believe that they existed at all, really, then why do we have such a hard time with saying that one exists now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really? Like, actually, it makes no sense. The same place where you have to swear, like in courtrooms, on the Bible, swear oath. Why do we do that?
Because it threatens the status quo's authority. Right, Joseph Smith, like Mormons, people in the Church of Latter-day Saints.
Well, we pretend
Christians.
It's like,
right?
but we only do it when it doesn't impact, when it suits our needs, right? In a courtroom, you swear in a Bible because, it symbolizes the ultimate truth, right? Because you can't lie to God, that you won't lie in front of God, right? We use it when it's convenient.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we fight wars and we justify doing those things because, our God is the righteous one, mm-hmm. or whatever. It's just makes it seems like more of a form of control, mm-hmm. whereas Raelianism is not.
Right. Yeah. You want to talk about people using religion to manipulate us? It's not the Elohim. It's not extraterrestrials. We do it. We do it to ourselves.
We do it just fine ourselves. Yeah. We are our own worst enemy, right. In most cases. Yeah. And again, yeah.
I want to come back to this idea of what you said, like a universal icon or statue or something.
Yeah, it was source. It was a trinket, like a statue, for lack of a better term, of what they called the source. It's like what they prayed to, what they thought created them.
So Rails explained that our symbol, this Star of David with the swastika intertwined,
which is that?
Which is this.
I'm gonna zoom in on you.
Okay. Well,
for a moment. Do you mind holding it up clear? Can you lift it?
Yeah.
I can also overlay a picture of it.
Yeah, so Rails explained that this is like a universal symbol because it represents the infinite nature of the universe, mm-hmm. that our planets and stars are the atoms of some infinitely huge being, and our atoms are the stars and planets of infinitely small beings. So civilizations that have reached this understanding of the universe, they all recognize this symbol as a symbol of infinity.
It's very interesting.
So even the Elohim meditate in front of this symbol. And that's how they see us as equal to them too. They do the same meditations that we do. We have the same human nature.
Yeah, and people, I think people are really quick to jump, like, you say swastika, and they're like, oh, what that signifies the German Reich, right? Mm-hmm. And but they took it. Well, yeah, there's a lot. Like, the Nazi Party would not have existed if it wasn't for bankers in the United States funding mm-hmm. the startup of the party. So, yeah, I agree with you.
I just mean as like a cynical take on modern day current events.
Ooh, rough.
Anyway,
rough.
Yeah.
They label that with that, and they say, "Oh, that's bad." Mm-hmm. But that symbol was taken. They took that symbol, mm-hmm. and they co-opted it. Mm-hmm. But that symbol existed before them, and was meant for. It was a symbol of peace, right? Mm-hmm. So then there's the Star of David, mm-hmm. and then obviously there's another connotation there. Mm-hmm. It's like the opposite. It's the ones who were victimized by the people that wore the swastikas. So combining it, like, probably just sounds weird, right? But those are, again, these are not symbols that, like, you don't just own a symbol. But it combines the two, is what you're saying?
Yeah, it's like intertwined.
Okay.
The swastika represents infinity in time. There's no beginning or no end.
And then what does the star represent?
So the star pointing upwards represents our planets and atoms, or planets and stars being the atoms of some huge being, and then the star pointing downward is the reverse.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there's no heaven, there's no hell, there's no center to this infinite universe. It couldn't be a center. So there's no place for God to sit, no place for souls to go or get recycled or whatever people believe souls have happened to them.
Right. If what's one idea from your worldview that you wish more people would consider with an open mind?
I don't know. I mean, that's a tough question. You know, I wish people took the movement more seriously, sure, and were more open to what Rael was talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
If there is a skeptic that's listening, what question would you invite them to sit with rather than reject?
You know, something that gets asked to Raelians in interviews like these a lot are, what would you do if you found out it was all fake? You know, and so
That's the wrong question.
I like to kind of flip it. You know, like, what would you do if you found out all your beliefs and foundational ideas were fake? What if you found out evolution was fake? Like, what does that do to you? What does it do to society? How does it change how you see the world?
Right.
Would you continue believing in it anyway? Would you be like, okay, no, there must be some other kind of evidence out there that does prove it's real? People like to ask these.
I don't have a view, so it's hard for me to.
Yeah, I don't necessarily mean you, right? I just mean like people.
I think they would struggle.
Yeah.
I think mentally they would break.
Yeah.
And I think it's a problem.
Yeah. So to anyone listening,
but I don't think that's the right question even to ask. Like,
right? You wouldn't ask the Pope, like, if you
hey,
said
Pope, found out it was all bullshit.
Yeah, right.
What would you do?
Yeah,
your whole life you dedicated to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not a good question.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
A good question is, tell me why it is true.
Right.
So tell me why it is true.
Because I think it bridges all these puzzle pieces together. And because we are facing technologies that Rael predicted, that at the time, like cloning.
Oh, good.
Right. I mean, that's the big one, right? We're also staring down at artificial intelligence now.
Right? Did say that.
So at the time, these ideas were science fiction. And now decades later, and here they are, that we've chosen not to pursue cloning doesn't make it less of a prediction come true. Right.
Right.
So I think the fact that he's made these predictions and that they are coming to light. I mean, even meditation. I remember speaking with a Raelian from some country in Africa, and when he got into it and he would practice meditation, people there thought he was in a cult, like summoning demons or whatever. You know, he's just meditating. You know, and it took decades of research for us to realize the profound effects of meditation on the mind and the human brain.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
So I think the movement and the philosophy and our explanations they're what people need at this time. You know, where people can't buy God anymore. And plenty of people say they're Christian, but they don't go to church.
This is true.
So
And do you notice like, and actually this is super prevalent right now. There's been like a weird resurgence in being like Christian in like Silicon Valley, and like, you know, like the Tucker Carlsons, and like the Nick Fuentes, all these weird guys, right? Like it's like the pendulum like swung.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people like in the early 2000s, like late 90s, early 2000s, I think like going to church, that's like it stopped, slowly was on the decline.
Yeah.
Right? People became more spiritual rather than like religious. But now the pendulum's kind of swinging back, and people are like overly Christian now.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if, you know, because you're talking 20 years ago, and so now you have this younger generation that's come of age now.
Yeah.
Right. And in the 90s, in like Bible Belt area, there was a huge resurgence of getting teens to be abstinent.
Yeah.
Right. So there was a huge outreach to younger people to be more Christian, be more religious.
Yeah.
And so now that's all.
Do you think that is a
pay
place
off for the worse?
I was gonna say, do you think that is a place in life? Like, should religion be the one to say that?
To say
to be the authority on that?
On the authority on what?
I don't. The fact that you have to be abstinent.
Oh.
Like that.
No, I mean, that's your choice. I could care less what you do.
Right, but does Raelianism, does that, do you tell people like you have to be abstinent?
No, we don't say anything one way or
exactly
another.
That's what I mean. I'm like,
live your life.
It's kind of interesting that the other side does, though.
Yeah. Well, it's a way of controlling people mentally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn. Yes.
Well,
I do think, like, I also want to say, like, I think it's okay if someone is Christian.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I think it's okay to, like,
we should be able to coexist.
Yeah.
Like, I miss the days where you could be Democrat or Republican and you could just have a conversation. I mean, you might not disagree. I mean, but you might not agree all the time, but your disagreement doesn't make you an enemy. Mm-hmm. I long for that.
Yeah. Well, this is, you know, I say I don't mind if you're Christian, but like also the nature of Christianity is inherently divisive. You either believe in my God or you don't. So that's not, you know, a Republican and a Democrat at least like believe in America. They both believe in the same thing and they're just trying to figure out how to get there. But if you're Christian or Jewish or Muslim and someone's not that, you're inherently in conflict with them.
There was this political ad that I just saw. Maybe you can find it. It was crazy. They were opponents, Republican and Democrat, and they did a political ad together. And they were like, I think, you know, it should be run like this. And the other guy was like, no, I think it should be run like this. Vote for me. And the other guy was like, no, this way. Vote for me. And then they came together at the end and they were like, we don't have to be tearing each other down. We all want the same thing. It's just we want different ways to get there. Mm-hmm. It's like, so they ran the ad together and then they said, at the end, both of them said, we approve this message. Mm-hmm. It was like, whoa, mm-hmm. Like that's what we need.
Yeah.
Like a Republican, and you know, it's probably like some, you know, not meaningless election, but it's probably some low level. Yeah. But the ad was amazing to see, like two candidates, like just being like, I don't hate you because, you know, love thy neighbor, mm-hmm. Like, or, you know, just be respectful of your neighbor and their right to exist, mm-hmm. Right, and their right to their opinion. Mm-hmm. Like we can disagree, but we can also not be enemies. Yeah. And I think again, that's what we're missing right now. is the sense of community, this sense of something that brings us all together, that unites us. Do you think Raelianism could do that?
Yeah.
One day.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And that's another reason why I think it is true, is that, I wouldn't be Raelian if I had to stand out in front of on the street with a sign that says aliens hate fags or whatever. Like, I wouldn't, you couldn't pay me to do that.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
And there. So what message would you leave for people who feel maybe lost, searching for truth about our reality and our existence?
I think if you're looking for truth, that's a beautiful thing. I think whatever answer you come to, so long as it doesn't hurt other people, I think is fine.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to look for truth and not be satisfied with answers that you might have been told growing up. I think that's what's like innately interesting about the UFOs or UAPs or whatever, is that it seems that someone knows something and doesn't want you to know.
Yeah.
So I think it's important, whatever the answer.
Do you think the government knows that something?
I think, yeah.
Like, do you think the deep state knows something that maybe they don't have all the pieces?
Yeah.
Right? They're not completely clued in.
Yeah.
But they know enough to know that there's a there.
Yeah. I don't know that I would say anyone knows enough to think that, like, the movement's a threat. Like, oh, these people did create us, but we gotta, like, not tell people, and we gotta shoot them down if we see them. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's happening, but that seems kind of like wild to me. So I don't think the government has enough pieces to know something like that.
So you don't think they have like reverse engineered craft or anything?
They might. I know that a lot of people think that's what like stealth jets were.
ARVs, alien reproduction vehicles.
Could be. I've never heard of that, but I mean, sure, it could.
Just a UFO.
Yeah, anything could be possible.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the B-2 and the stealth bombers. I think there's more to those than we understand. Like the technology wise, there's a guy T. Townsend Brown, and he broke. So in the, I believe in like the 50s, they kept all the scientists. It was a huge thing, and they were saying like the G engines are coming. The G engines. It was in Popular Mechanics magazine, like they were saying like we're this close to breaking gravity and being able to manipulate it in our favor. And then boom, nothing. It's like nothing happened.
I guess it just didn't work.
Nope. There's this guy T. Townsend Brown.
Yeah.
And that so T. Townsend Brown and this other guy that's what the Byfield Brown effect is. And it's when you charge one side of the aircraft positive and you charge the other side negative, creating a magnetic bubble around the craft. So you're like, I'm not a scientist. There's some sort of technology there, but that they're doing it with even the stealth bombers. There's like they're highly charged particles on the positive side on one wing, on the other it's like negative, and that's giving it some sort of other like bubble. So it's allowed, that's still classified part of it. We know they exist, but we don't know about that side of it. But we think that what happened was they did crack gravity, but it went black because the national security, the patent office was born, and that now you had to patent everything and had to go through the government, and what they could do is you would file for a patent, they would slap a national security tag on it, and then you could only do business with the U.S. government.
Mm.
You can't sell it anywhere else, and if you do, it's treason. So they that's how they lock up technology, like lock it up on the public. That's how they keep things at bay. You know, because Tesla. Why do you hear that?
Like a buzzing?
Do you hear that? Yeah.
What is it?
Hold on.
I thought she was like zooming out the cameras.
To be honest, I wouldn't even know how to do that.
Okay. Don't let everything touch. You might be causing feedback. And then the cell phone. Turn the Wi-Fi. I can hear it.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can still kind of hear it. Not as much as before.
Yeah,
Is it something outside?
it might be. It's going right through my ears, though. It's all I can hear. It's interesting. It's like super faint, but not faint.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, back in Tesla. They could have gone with his work, but they went with Edison because you could put a meter on Edison's work. So it's just corporate greed.
Yeah. Yeah, my brother has a favorite story about this. I don't know all the details now, but like, just I don't know, oil companies or train companies burying competitor technology, right?
Yep.
So they can maintain a monopoly.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
Because there's been guys like Stanley Myers who created like a hydrogen engine, and he was poisoned in a Cracker Barrel.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, must be suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
it's always suicide.
Yeah.
It's always they shoot themselves in the back of the head twice. You're like, that's a suicide? The hell?
Yeah.
How?
Right.
But we're gonna get into a members only section soon. In just a moment. We're already a little bit running late. Just a couple of questions, rapid fire for the members. But this has been really, really interesting. Really, really interesting. And I'd love to continue the conversation. Sometime again.
Yeah.
In a larger capacity. Maybe we could. I'll figure something out. But I like these kind of like bringing, not just talking about like UFOs and current disclosure, but how other people see the world. It's fascinating to me too, because there's little things that I learn, and it's always something that you might not even see in the moment, but it's always like in hindsight. Or hindsight being 2020. So, where can people like? Do you have like a website? I don't even know how to ask.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can go to www.rail.org. You can find all of Rail's books detailing his encounters, coming technologies, more about philosophy and meditation. All of his, well, I don't know, I guess probably not all, but there's hundreds of videos of him speaking. Different meditation tracks we have, transcripts of his speeches. So it's a lot of philosophy. You can talk about disclosure and what does the government know or hiding. You can talk about that all day, but what do you do? How do you make sense of the universe once all that comes to light? I mean, that's what we have an answer for, I think. And
So you're
that-
planning for what comes next.
Yes.
You know it's coming. It's just when.
Yes.
And you're like, okay, I've already accepted the fact that this is it. That's the truth. We're getting ready.
Yeah. That's why, I don't know, this plays into why we're not worried about converting people. Like, they're coming. We're on our way to welcome them. We're on our way to building the embassy, like I mentioned. So this is just preparing people for what's going to happen. And so when they come back, and when eventually traditional religions disappear, something needs to fill that void. Humans are inherently spiritual. And so how do we redefine what spirituality is, or how do we approach the future with the scientific knowledge that we're going to have? And how do we
But also, yeah.
yes.
I
How do
see.
we reconcile that with the need for spirituality? So to have an atheistic spirituality
That's
is
the
where
part.
we come in and what we provide.
It's very interesting. It's very interesting to me. Yeah. So you said Rael.org?
Yep.
And then do you guys have like churches?
No,
No,
No.
it's not run like that.
we maybe one day,
Yeah.
we organize like week-long seminars that we call happiness academies, because again, it's very focused on philosophy and being happy in the now and in the present, and enjoying life, learning to be kind and cultivating compassion for other people and for yourself. So we organize these all around the world. The biggest ones are held in Japan because that's where Rael lives now. But
Oh, he lives in Japan.
yes.
Oh.
But next year here, we're organizing a North American continent one that'll be held in, I don't know if it's Montreal or Quebec City. I don't know if they iron out those details yet, but it'll be held in Canada. So Raelians from all over the continent, maybe even from other continents, will be coming. And yeah, we listen to speeches of Rael. He doesn't travel anymore. He used to, but we listen to his speeches and we practice meditation and different workshops, and it's a good time. So yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you sitting down for total disclosure. Often I've talked to UFO researchers, members of Congress, investigators, scientists, and I always like to throw a curveball and get like a more theological discussion in. So thank you so much for doing this. I really, again, would you ever, would you guys ever sit down and talk to like a Catholic priest? Maybe not Catholic, but would you ever talk to like someone who's part of the?
Yeah.
Would you guys ever chat?
You gonna facilitate it?
I would. That's what I was gonna say. I'd happily facilitate that kind of like structural debate about. Interesting.
Yeah, let's see how I do.
Okay. Well, thank you guys, everyone. And again, always, you're always welcome back for any kind of chit chat. And I'd love to talk more about integrating more discussion.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And like I said, for everyone, the members only segment is only for members. Asset eyes only. So we're going to jump over to that now. So everyone, thank you. See you on the other side. Stay humble. Stay kind. Thank you so much for joining me today. Like, share, subscribe. You know what it is. All the links are in the description below.